Hey everyone, welcome to Go Off and Create the podcast. I'm your host Cam, and today we have Charles with us. But first, if you like what you see here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube if that's where you watch. So Charles, how do you go off and create?
So I go off and create a few different ways. The tagline of my business and my actual title is Creative Solution Architect. The main way I go off and create is what are the pieces, how can they put together, and let me build my own Lego solution.
Your own Lego solution?
Yeah.
Do you like Legos?
I grew up with Legos. I actually grew up with Legos and Connects. So everything I can build, even the old Lincoln blocks. So I got used to just building everything. So when I look at the way technology, you're now talking about technology fits together in so many different ways that I feel like I'm playing with Legos again.
Okay,
so I have this piece, and let's see what I can have fun with.
Okay, so is that where like little Charles, like you're a kid and you like Legos and doing all those things, is that where your love for tech came from?
I think my love for tech came from just taking apart things.
Oh, okay.
So I was the kid that would take apart. I remember my dad had an old rotary phone. Mm-hmm. It sat still for too long. And I was like, oh, he must not be using this. So I got out the screwdriver and everything and took it apart. Started figuring out wires, how things came apart. So I was the very destructive child of just breaking down everything I could. So I got used to breaking down things to their components. And then eventually, I guess my parents realized maybe we should send him to engineering camp.
Yeah.
So he can stop taking away stuff at our house, and I go to camp and build things.
So I guess that means he was using the rotary phone?
He wanted to. He was going to come back to it. Oh. So I took it apart too soon.
Oh, but so you couldn't put it back together?
Not all of it.
That's why you need to go to camp. So you can learn how to put it back together too?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we're in 2026 and we have this big AI boom or whatever, and I think some people might say AI has already been there. When you think about like, I guess disability, people who have disabilities and like them using it, I guess that's still a form of AI. But as far as like our households go, so where you see where the trends have taken us now, were you excited for AI to get on the scene or were you nervous, scared?
I would say a little nervous. So there's definitely trepidation. And it's funny, I guess it depends on how you categorize AI. So you're right. AI has been around since the 50s, technically. And the running joke in the Microsoft community has always been Clippy. You might remember Clippy.
The safety pin thing? Yeah.
That was a form of AI. You have Cortana, you have Siri. Those are all forms of AI. So in its current form, it's just AI has evolved into something greater. And I would say I had a little trepidation just because it's helpful, but I like taking things apart, as we discussed. Yeah. And so I like understanding the inner workings. And I felt that with some AI, people might forget to look past it to understand how the thing works. But I welcome it, but I do worry about that piece.
Right. Just so is that the kind of instead of like looking past to see how things work? So that's basically like your way of saying like people will not use their own minds. They'll kind of use it to think for themselves, or.
Well, I think some people have already started offloading a lot of their cognitive pieces. There's been different studies that, hey, people are enjoying AI, they're doing so much of it, but they're so used to just offloading this part of their critical thinking that they're starting to struggle now to just do anything else creative. Yeah. Which is, I think, the ironic part of go off and create. Some people might struggle to be able to create something brand new if you're used to saying, hey, AI, give me ideas for something.
Absolutely. I mean, our minds are a muscle, so you do have to use them. So if something else is, I guess, taking up that space, then you're no longer
doing the flexing.
Right. I do think that AI as a tool does have benefits. Like
a lot.
It definitely can cut the time down on something that you may not want to do. Like whatever the case may be, maybe you're not good at, I don't know, making outlines or whatever. But with that being said, is there anything a part of AI that kind of like scares you, or you think like it's not worth the time?
What do you mean worth the time?
Meaning like what it can potentially end up being for like society, it's not worth us being excited about like what it can offset.
Well, I see the potential. I see there's a lot of greatness. I was actually following someone on LinkedIn the other day. He mentioned being able to focus. He's not really a programmer. He was able to build 3 apps, push them to the App Store in like 3 weeks. So he's able to just do stuff fast like that. That's great. The part I would joke.
It's funny you said that. My friend actually is building an app.
Same thing. Right? Yeah. So that's the thing. If you don't know how to build apps, AI can help you build an app. If you don't know how to do an outline, it It can help you with outline, scripts, people doing video editing.
Mm-hmm.
There's AI ads to make a song. You give it a prompt, it makes a song for you.
Yeah.
So AI can do a lot of stuff that either you don't have the time for because of overhead or just bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I do worry we're going to get to like the world of WALL-E, where we start having robots do everything for us.
Yes.
And
I don't know if y'all seen WALL-E, but in WALL-E, like robots do everything. People are lazy. They don't do anything. They ride around on scooters, and the planet is basically disintegrated. They live like in a spaceship.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Those
Anyway.
are all the nice high pop points.
Right. Oh, spoiler! I'm sorry if I ruined it for somebody.
Still worth the watch. But yeah, I will say that's probably my only real concern of what could be scary is getting to that point of WALL-E or some other dystopian future where robots do everything for us. But there's so much that you can do for, like myself, I'm building an app.
Yeah.
AI is able to work as a second set of eyes for me. Like, hey, did I do this correctly?
Oh, yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
I forgot how to do this thing in whatever language. Help me jump in this language. Because that's another thing with programming. There's a bunch of programming languages out there. I am not so much of a polyglot that I can remember all of the programming languages.
That's like a vocabulary word, polyglot. Sorry, not to stop you.
No worries, but it's crazy trying to remember all the different languages because there's a different language for each part of technology. If you're working on a website, you're doing HTML, JavaScript, and so forth. If you're working on like an app, you might work with like C#, you might work with Objective-C. There's a bunch of different languages. And the syntax changes from each one. It's almost like the difference between French and Spanish. Certain words are going to be the same. Some words are going to be very different. And sometimes you get tripped over those similarities of when I'm saying vino. Am I saying I want wine in Spanish or in Italian?
Right.
So
I don't know. Are you saying in Italian? I don't know. Isn't it Italian?
It does work in Italian also.
I feel like you're laming me out right now. I feel like you're like, duh. But I mean, because I would say like, I feel like AI, I have like this, I don't want to say love-hate, but it's so beneficial. It does help so much with certain things, but at the same time, it's like at what cost? And I think when things don't affect us directly, like not right now directly, it's easy to just be like, oh, this is great. And then when you like zoom out of the thing, you're like, oh, but it also destroys the planet or, requires, more data centers would destroy the planet. Or it to your earlier point, it does start to affect like how you critical think because you are using it maybe for everything or we're all built differently. So maybe it's just like, now this does all the thinking, which is, kind of scary within itself, and I don't think anybody wants, we've all seen what? iRobot. Like we've all
seen it. We've seen the memes.
Right. We don't want robots ruling the planet, because they don't have conscience, right? But they think they have conscience. Well, that's how the movie goes. They think they have conscience.
Well, I think that's the part about it is even from a sci-fi perspective, when you look at AI, it's programming. So you give it a directive, it does exactly what it's told to do. There's no nuance. There's no gray area. It's white or black. If you tell me to always do this when this thing happens, I'm going to always do it. And that's no room for conscience. That's just pure logic. And I do think that's a running thing in a lot of dystopian, very psychological thriller type films is what happens when something is completely logical and there's no human empathy.
Right, because empathy is key, right?
Yeah.
Because if something gets an assignment and its job is to stay on that assignment, then sometimes you trying to divert it from that assignment, it's like, no, I'm going to do my assignment, right?
Right. Like, have you seen the studies about the different AI models people have done at these companies? And they tell the AI saying like, hey, I want you to keep doing this thing. And once you're done with this thing, turn yourself off. And AI it's built for survival. So it doesn't want to turn itself off. So it's found creative ways of trying to stay on.
See?
It will either just refuse the order to turn off. I can't remember which company. I think there was someone mentioned that the AI tried to find blackmail on somebody and blackmail the human person to say, hey, don't turn me off or I'll expose this thing. There's another one, I think it tried to rewrite its code so it couldn't be turned off.
Yeah.
And so it's logical and it's built to survive.
Right. Which is wild to me, right? Like for something to not have a conscience to be like logical but also built to survive.
Yes.
It's like, wait, where is that coming from? But that's like scary though. And then when you think about like the use of AI now, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I view it as like something that kind of just like scans the internet, what's already out there and tries to like, pull everything together for you. whether it is copy or art or whatever. That's how I view it. Like,
no,
is that
I think
accurate?
that's a fair that's very accurate. So when you hear the buzzwords, large language model, the LLM, that's essentially what's happening. People's blogs, people's songs, people's music, whatever it might be, whatever can be found on the internet, you've had these tools go out and basically, they use the term crawl. They basically crawl the entire internet. And that's why sometimes you will hear people say certain AIs only up to a certain date, because that's how much data they've crawled from day one of the internet to, let's say, June of 2025. And so it's read everything, it's pattern matching. When you use these words, this is the next expected word. So when you put in a prompt, some people will say AI is just very good predictive text.
Yeah.
So it's basically read the entire internet, all our songs, all our blogs, all our journals and diaries. And it's just whatever you're asking of it, it's then parsing all of that and creating something it thinks you would like.
Okay, so all right, so crawl is very interesting because that makes it sound creepy, like it crawls. But I mean, I guess it's still creepy nonetheless. But when you think about it from that perspective, like for like creativity, that's why, like in my mind, like there is a problem because I'm sorry, but I don't want to support an AI music artist or an AI actress or actor. Like, to me, there's so many talented people out there, especially when we talk about creativity in a space of creativity. It just makes no sense for it coming from like a robot, if you will, like a program.
Yeah, it's weird. I actually had a session. I was in Knoxville a couple weeks ago for a session talking about Azure, and I had to get a ride share just to the facility. And first time I ever heard of it, it was called Hillbilly Hip Hop. And I think when I looked up the artist, I believe it was an AI artist.
Okay.
So it was an AI artist doing a genre of hillbilly hip hop, talking about trapping, blowing loud, disturbing the clan. And I'm like, what type of prompt was this?
Really?
So someone took the time to create prompts to create this genre and create this AI artist and create a whole playlist of this particular artist.
That's wild. Hillbilly, what was it?
Hillbilly hip hop.
That is really wild. I don't know. My brain's like doing something right now. I'm like, I don't know if I should be impressed or like, or what, but
it's more interesting than you think it is.
I believe it. I believe you. I mean, it's such a thin line, right? Because a prompt is just words. So that's not you actively creating this thing. The AI is doing it for you.
Correct.
Now, I must confess, like, the creativity behind, like, I guess hillbilly hip hop, right? But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay. But then I also think about the narrative of, like, who's creating this? Yeah. And do we as a society really care who's creating it? Like, because, when we think about, like, racial-wise, like, anybody can use it. Someone can use it for harm. You know what I mean? So it's like... Yes. Who's creating it, I feel like, should be just as important too. Like, who made this hillbilly hip hop song? And also, are you like, what is it? Hiding behind a guise, if you will. Like, you mean like...
Get what you're saying, yeah.
Like, are you someone of the community making this art? Or are you just an outsider and you're like, but I want to see this,
Yeah.
Which I also think is dangerous.
I think a lot of times it's someone creating it with a prompt as a caricature. I'm sure the person who created the hillbilly hip hop is not part of the actual hip hop community.
Right.
So there's someone who is, as you might consider, like, hey, you're not native to this. You are adjacent to it because you're aware of it.
Yes.
But I decided I want to do this thing. And you may not have that same... I guess appreciation for the art as well, because I do think that's part of what's happening with AI. Because again, AI is great; it helps produce a lot of things, but a lot of the prompts I don't think take the creatives and what they've built. There's not a lot of appreciation for that.
Yeah.
So when you say, "Hey, I want to make a song. I want to write a poem. I want to write a book." I've seen people write a lot of AI books. I know people who've written their own books, and they talk about the months or the years they do with all the edits, the revisions, and so forth. And then you do a prompt. You say, hey, I wrote a book. I'm a now accomplished AI writer. Technically, I guess, yes, you are an author. But there's, I don't think, the same level of appreciation of the person who put in the work to do this.
Yeah.
And your AI prompt may have used their work to create your work.
Right, yeah. And I think that is That's why I don't think we could be so lax about everything, just because there's so many people who put in hard work, writing books, making songs, creating art, that I do think it's a little bit unfair for someone to just be like, you know, and to I think she said it, but to what is it, Kaylani's point, she's a singer.
Oh, yes.
She was like, you're basically creating an artist who's probably taking from my voice and other artists, you know what I mean? So it's like,
and what's funnier about it, I don't know if you've heard about this, but some people aren't even good at the clicking for the prompt. So they ask AI to give them, say, hey, this is what I want to do. Give me a prompt.
Yeah,
so they've taken it from creating the prompt to even offloading the prompt to create whatever they want to create.
I never thought about that, but you're right, because prompt writing is actually not the easiest thing. If you're trying to get really detailed in it, if you're trying to really get exactly what you want, it's not the easiest thing. So I never thought about, hey, AI, create the prompt that I need so I can make the thing that I need. Like, that's
because when you think about it, just people in general have a hard time sometimes asking for what they want, and they don't always give all the information.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing a prompt, people realize now how much information they leave out of their request, because now they have to go back and forth with the AI 10 different times.
Yeah, that's wow. I never thought about that. See, I'm glad we're having this conversation. No, but like, so do you think that as far as safety goes, it sounds like, you know, you really are focusing on the benefits of AI, but as far as safety goes, should we be concerned about it crawling the internet? Should we be concerned about Meta glasses, who are now potentially going to be scanning people's faces and then giving their information, their address, and all these things? Like, those are, to me, those are boundaries being crossed, if you ask me.
Those are boundaries. I don't want to be the doom and gloom, but there's a lot of doom and gloom to be considered.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you have people using AI to just be able to tag people. You already have even activists getting doxxed and so forth. So AI is going to make it easier to dox people. AI has made it easier for people to write ransomware to try to hold people for however much they want to do for crypto, like pay this to do X, Y, and Z. So it's going to increase the number of ransom attacks. A lot of DDoS attacks is going to increase the number of people just trying to scam you. We have to do a lot more training at work of, hey, if you're my superior and I handle the money, I can't just get an email vaguely like, hey, Cam is asking for $15,000 for me to transfer this. I have to now call you, make sure it's a number that we have established and so forth, because people are using AI to have a video of you now, to have a video call to make me think it's you saying, transfer this money, but change your account to go to something malicious. Yeah. So that's increasing. And then just in general, you, I think, teetered to a little bit ago about the data centers. The data centers they have their own problems there. Yeah. So you have they're building data centers everywhere. They're putting them by people's homes. So I think I saw a video that the noise is just like humming that just disturbs people throughout the night. So that's thing one. Thing two, if you're near a data center, it's going to have your electricity bill go up because it's using a lot of electricity. Yeah. Also, computers run hot, so it's use a lot of water. So you have the potential of just all your data being, put into a single box, accessible by AI to tag and identify anybody in the world. You have the data centers with large footprint. You have the heat, and then you just have the water being used. Yeah. So there are a bunch of cons.
So it's like a succubus or whatever. I don't know. Just basically, it's like stealing the resources and the nutrients from your area, wherever a data center is at. And I have to say, we have one where I live. It's not directly by houses, but still. There are things in the vicinity, but it's not like directly by like homes. But they also had to build like these big like pillars, I guess, for the data center. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not by the data center, but it's on this other road. Okay. And there's like these big metal, like, I assume they're for the data center. They're not light poles, okay? Okay. And so I'm like, the property value.
Transferring electricity.
Yeah, I'm like, the property value for all those people I feel bad for, because now you have these big dome thingies like in front of your homes.
And it's going to be hard to sell your home.
Yes, if you're by a data center, or if you have one of these things in front of your, there's multiple reasons why. Yes. I don't think data centers are beneficial. I understand, like, they're saying, like, you need the data center, for, I guess, AI and it would,
even saying that, like, we need the data center is one of the things I talk about when I travel is do we need it? And a lot of reasons why we need it is because people don't want to delete anything. Basically, we're just digital hoarding at this point. Because if you look at, like, everybody's seen the TV show Hoarders. You have someone you love or know has their home is covered in whatever they're collecting.
Right.
When you look at our cloud, OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Box, whatever you're storing your content in, if you got papers from college and you graduated 20 years ago, do you still need those?
No.
Do you need vacation photos from when you went to, I don't know, Punta Cana when you were freshman year?
Yes.
So, but what's happening
But print
is
them
that,
out.
yeah, you can print them out. But what's happening with the data centers is that they're storing all of our data because we don't want to delete the data, and we want the data to be accessible. So when I open my phone, I don't want there to be any latency.
Yeah.
So what the data center actually is saying, hey, we need to be around the world to be as close as wherever you're going to be. Because when you think about back in the day, if you went on vacation, which I hope you do vacation, so you get some time off, but let's say you went to Thailand. If your content was stored here in the States, it might take a few seconds to go all the way from here to Thailand. But if there's a data center nearby, what they do is break up the data. So there's pieces of your data in all the data centers or wherever you might need to go. So at that point, you don't know the difference that it's going to the US versus it's going to another data center down the street.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you explained that because clearly I didn't know. I'm like, it's for AI. But no, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's because people don't want to delete things.
Yeah.
Let's delete things because the data center is not really necessarily good. But I never thought about it from that perspective. So so when people be like, well, they already got my data. They probably do.
They probably got it, but you're not helping by just giving them more and more data.
More data. It's like delete your data. And I know that some of these AIs allow you to do like private.
Oh, if you do a paid tier, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're lying. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I have not read the terms and conditions, so I can't say either.
I need you to read the terms and then get back to us.
But essentially what happened there is you have a free tier. If you do the free tier, it's supposed to go back into the large language model. And that's the model that everyone has access to. So if you do something fancy, let's say you come up with a great prompt for your business and you want to say, hey, I need AI to analyze this prompt for me. If you have a free version of the AI, it's going to give you an answer, but then that also becomes a part of its training inside the large language model.
So somebody else can.
Yeah. So technically, then if I do a similar prompt, it might give me that same type of response, if not better, because it's learned for what you've done.
Yeah.
When you do the paid subscription, what it's supposed to do is saying, hey, I understand you do the prompt, but I'm going to keep it just to your account. It's not going to go back and train everything.
Gotcha.
So that's what's supposed to happen.
Suppose. He's got to read the terms and conditions, people. He'll get back to us.
Maybe one day.
That's probably like pages upon pages. But
there's so many pages.
Look, you don't want to do it because it's not going to be me. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to be me. But like, which I understand, right? And I know some people probably condemn that it's like data, whatever. I don't care. But I think that as far as like the data centers go about, technically, we don't have to have them if we're cool with like our data just being erased.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting narrative because it's not talked about. Like a data center is not going to say, well, technically you don't need us. You know, like I feel like the narrative that's being pushed is like, well, we got to have the data centers for where the world's going, for the AI. And then it's like, oh, I'm just really impressed with like, no, we actually don't. Like,
if people got rid of more of the data, we probably have less data centers. I'm not saying it's going to cut them in half.
Right.
But the demand to have the data so accessible is why you have multiple data centers. Because one, if something happens, let's say an act of God and there's a flood that destroys a data center, you don't want to lose your content. So it's backed up to another data center. So you have that redundancy. And that's one of the things that people do for the cloud, even for your business. So I do a lot of stuff inside of Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud.
Okay.
If I set up redundancy for a customer, I might set up something for US East. But if something happens to US East, I'll have it fall over to US West to make sure it's still accessible. Then once US East comes back up, I can say, okay, go back to your primary because you're supposed to be in the East. So your primary. West is just our backup. Backup, take care of this until I fix whatever happened on the East Coast and then come back over here as your main focus. So when people come to their data, it's 1 millisecond versus 3 milliseconds.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of data. And people don't realize how much information you can get from data.
Oh, I believe it. I believe you can get a lot.
There's a lot. I took databases in college. I still design databases and so forth. And one of the things I want to do when I start building my apps and deploying them is to only take what's essential for it. I don't want to collect anything else. But even just the frequency of what you post, people can figure out, oh, Charles always posts at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens at 9 o'clock that he's always posting. Okay, what can we figure out from his posts? And there's a lot that can be tracked, which is why the more data you give them, they have your data, yes, but if you keep giving more data, they're going to get better.
And better and better and better. And so we're feeding the beast in a sense. Like we're training.
You're feeding the beast, and essentially they're creating digital profiles of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you just help the profile get even better.
Right. So do with that what you will, people.
Yes.
But like, so as far as like we go, is this effective? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
In order to kind of help, trying to have a green footprint in technology, is it helpful to be like, okay, I need AI, it helps me, but I just won't use it as much. Is that a helpful way to kind of like not you're going to still contribute to like the environment and what's happening, but is it an effective way to kind of reduce?
I do think that there's an effective way, and it helps. I think technically every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be more responsible with anything,
mm-hmm.
My wife and I joke around that we keep our phones longer than we probably should, because mm-hmm. we had our last phones long enough that AT&T said, look, we're turning off this part of the network. You have to get a new device.
How dare you?
How dare you try to hold on to something? But I think most technology, if you're a little bit more responsible with it, usage, trying to do your best with it, AI more specifically, maybe come up with a better prompt before you start just iterating every single thing.
Yeah.
Because everything you do is sent over a wire, for lack of a better term. When you type into a computer, that's why I call it ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Is you have a chat-based application for it. So as you type words, those letters have to be parsed out. Mm-hmm. So if you come up with a better prompt, it lessens how much data need to go over. So less prompts and just better prompts. Something sharing, I don't remember the actual number, but someone asked a question online because nobody wants the robot overlords.
Right.
So when they gave prompts to ChatGPT, they were always saying like, please, thank you, that type of stuff. And someone just asked like, I wonder how much money we're wasting by adding those extra words to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it ended up being like millions of dollars.
Oh, wow.
It's just because every single word you type, the AI has to process,
mm-hmm.
and that's more processing time. So even if you're just saying thank you or please, it adds just a little bit extra, and it's additional processing.
Dang. Because I know we're having this conversation, but I too have used AI just to kind of help me. I don't know how other people, right? And I don't know how other people talk to their AI, but I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I appreciate you. So like to hear you say that, I'm like, well, dang, I guess I shouldn't be saying thank you and stuff.
But that's the thing. I don't even think they're even saying the creators of it, you shouldn't be saying thank you. It was just a nice footnote that, hey, this processes every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a cost. We're not saying stop saying thank you, please, because that's how you talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask something, and I think that has given AI a little personhood, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you're talking to AI like a person.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, can you
But keep in mind, AI is not real, y'all. So I know some of y'all use it as a real person. It's not a real person.
Also, don't use AI for therapy. Because that's another thing that people have been using AI for therapy, not realizing it goes to the large language model. And that can be accessible with the right prompt. But yeah.
Dangerous.
Being kind does cost money.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to say. I don't want that to be the takeaway.
Because I was being like, oh, thank you. It's like, no problem. Oh my God.
And AI is very flattering.
No, it's charming for sure.
Yes.
He's like, oh. But so like, okay, before we get wrapped up, but there's a lot of AI out there. Do you have a specific one that you like or?
So I actually don't use AI a lot. I'm starting to dip my toe in a little bit because we were talking about all the technologies coming together.
Yeah.
My focus is biz apps, business solutions. So as I'm doing more business solutions, AI can help me either just refine a data model, help me do some logic somewhere. So I'm starting to tinker with it. And I had to, I guess, state my bias because I'm in the Microsoft stack. My bias tends to be with Copilot.
Yeah. I've never used Copilot, but I did have someone at church tell me like, oh, Copilot's good. I like Copilot. But I'm not really on Microsoft. And that's probably because I'm a designer and we kind of like...
Yeah.
Microsoft... I know how to use Microsoft stuff, but it's kind of like our I don't know, our kryptonite.
Microsoft technology has a bad rap.
Yeah.
I realize.
No shade, but no shade to you.
I think even Microsoft realizes there's been a lack of just, I guess, better press around things. Because they have a lot of technology. Because again, the deeper I get into the stack, the more I realize they have available.
Yeah.
And technically it can help everybody. But I realize it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And if you find something that works for you that's not Microsoft, it does great. Because people like Canva versus whatever Microsoft's equivalent may be. But there's a lot of benefit. Copilot, I wouldn't say it's the greatest, because some people would say ChatGPT is the greatest. People might say whatever they're using is the greatest.
I know there's Claude.
A lot of people use Claude. I know a lot of people who program and use Claude. They say Claude is great for actually reasoning over the logic, giving them some feedback. So each use case is going to be different. So if you're doing code, people hail Claude. Yeah. If you're doing, hey, I want a full solution, people like ChatGPT. If you're working inside the business solution, which is why Copilot shines for a lot of people. Yeah. If you're an enterprise, you're already inside the Microsoft stack, Copilot already knows your data. And so it's not asking you all the questions of like, all right, give me your name. Give me your name number. Like, it knows, oh, you're Charles, you're at some organization, this is your title, this is how long you've been, because it can tie into the system. Okay. So that's how Copilot kind of benefits if you're in the industry for the enterprise solution.
Oh, okay. I know that, but I'm not fishing around for AI to use. But I'm just like, what's easier for me to just get in there. But I really enjoy this conversation. I think you're well informed. I guess you are a tech bro.
Oh, wow.
Was that what you would call yourself? I don't know. Is that insulting? I don't know.
I feel like the way some of them people use it, it could be less than flattering. I won't say necessarily insulting, but I will say, yes, I'm maybe like a technical trainer.
Technical trainer.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. TT.
Okay. Sure. I'm TT.
No, we'll go with technical trainer. TT sounds weird.
Sound like my sister-in-law being auntie.
But can you tell people where they can find you out or what you have coming up?
Yeah, so if you are looking for business connectivity, you can find me on LinkedIn, Charles Lakes II. The Two Lakes group is on Instagram. And upcoming, I have 3 or 4 different conferences. So I have a big conference in Orlando for the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. I have an event coming up for a meetup group for the Portland Power Platform event, as well as a few other smaller events as well, because there's a lot of Microsoft conferences. Last year, I think I did 23 events. Oh my Lord. So I might end up doing like 16 this year. So the year's just starting, but there's a lot already building up. But the biggest one right now is Microsoft 365 conference in Orlando, April, and then June, I'm in Chicago for TechCon Chicago.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, booked and busy, sounds like, so that's great.
Getting busy.
Hey, I'm here for it. And for Go Off and Create, like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. But you can also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Substack, Threads. We're out there. Go Off and Create. Bye.
Take care.